I'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. Shelby County Supervisors. It's Tuesday, August 20th. Any conflict of interest, gentlemen, on the agenda? Okay. With the agenda, we're going to be tabling item number 11, 17, and 18 until the next meeting, if not before, if we need to have a special meeting. That's on the purchase of the annex building. We'll be getting back with that at a later date. And then also, I just want to make reference on number 15 for our closed session discussion with Tim Whipple. That will start no later than 10 o'clock. It says 10 o'clock, but since it's a closed session, if we get to that sooner and Tim's here, we will start sooner, okay? And then you're welcome to stay around. The meeting will be right here, the closed session, and then we'll come back out, and then if there's an action item, from that meeting, it will be set at that time, okay? Any questions? Okay, do I have a motion to approve the agenda with the tabling of 11, 17, and 18?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Charlie, second by Bryce. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Next on the agenda, Chris, secondary roads report. He needs to get going to another meeting, so we're moving him up front. Good morning, sir.
Gentlemen. Good to see everybody. Little rain right now, which is
We need it.
All right.
It's okay.
liquid sunshine. Nothing too impressive for this meeting, just a few updates of what's been going on. We've been talking about the M16 pipe repair project that we've been working on. That is 99.9% complete. This morning they're just out doing a little final grading, touch-up dirt work. Following that, we're going to move equipment over to Fur Road south of F32. There's a concrete box over there that's had some issues in the past and is having some more issues, so we'll try and stabilize it, rebuild what we can, just keep it in good shape for as long as we can. It won't be an inexpensive structure to replace, so see what we can do. Jay will go out and seed the M16 project as well, following us removing the equipment. So we should be out of there, done and complete, and hopefully we'll get a few timely rains and
It looks good.
We'll go back. Yeah, I think it will function well and with minimal disturbance to
Everything
the
went
road.
really well.
Yeah, everything went well and it lined up. And
Thanks for getting that taken
so,
care of.
one less thing, something we really didn't anticipate, but it's done. So,
Right.
Corley, quite a while ago, we talked about having those streets reseal coated. We had all the work done, everything was prepped. Stay-Build is down there today, seal coating. So I don't know how this little bit of rain will impact that, but they were going to start first thing this morning, and hopefully that will be done today and completed. So those residents will have new city streets.
Okay.
Bridge crew finally got to drive pile on the Elkhorn Park Bridge. Mid-American came down and moved the lines. First part of last week, I believe it was. They had one rack in last week, and they're down there today again, hopefully driving the second rack of the midspan. So following that, we'll set the midspan beams and continue on to one of the abutments. So things are happening down there, and that's nice to see also, get some things moving. Other than that, just some ditching on Redwood Road south of 800th Street. We've been going at that here. Last week, I believe we started that. We are going to go to the intersection of F58 and Redwood, which will be just south of where we're ditching. We're going to build that intersection up so you can approach a little bit better with semis and enter the highway at a little better grade. When you're stopped, you won't have to pull up a hill. So that'll take a few days to get all that accomplished and reshaped and re-rocked. So if anybody is driving down that area, I just ask that they watch for equipment and take their time coming through there. It'll be bumpy for a while.
Okay.
Last thing I have for today, we did finish regrading M56 north of Jacksonville. So we will touch that up as needed. I know it'll be sore for a while. There'll be soft spots. There is a lot of rock on it right now, but we'll keep bringing it back, touching it up to what we can do. The next section we will be doing is M56 north of Marnie. So we'll go all the way to the Cass County line and start and progress back north.
Okay.
That will take place following the intersection of Redwood and 58. So some of the equipment is down there. Hopefully we'll start on that next week. Just kind of depends on the weather and how everything works out. So
Okay.
a lot of stuff going on, just skipping around to some different spots at the moment.
Okay. Full staff.
We have had a few interviews here for our open truck driver position. I know there's one more today, and I think hopefully we'll have somebody hired here
Okay.
very shortly. So
Good.
then we'll be back to full staff before winter, which would be great.
Can you update us on the landfill, the tornado damage, what's going on?
The landfill is always fun. I finally spoke to the adjuster again, and he's finally come up with a final number of what they're offering. That number has to go into ICAP, or the county's insurance. ICAP reviews it, does all that, issues the settlement amount, or more back and forth negotiation. So we should be to the point where we will see some sort of a settlement, and then we'll get on getting everything completed and put back to square one and normal before winter. So
It's been drug
So
out.
no doors yet.
no doors. Luckily, we haven't had anything too exciting as far as super wind that would take commingles out.
That
So
reminds me, it's a little off subject, but it's related to the tornado insurance. Have you heard anything back from ICAP on
No,
this roof?
they're waiting for the adjuster. And I don't remember if it's the same one or not.
is
I
that
think it is.
your roof here? That was through the hail event?
Yeah.
Okay, so we don't have,
Is that the name or not?
that doesn't ring a bell.
Okay.
We haven't received ours back on the engineering office from that
Okay.
Yeah. That's the same
storm
one.
either.
Well, I'm gonna be seeing ICAP down at ISAC
Okay.
next couple days, so I'm gonna talk to them. Any of you department heads waiting on ICAP for anything? Roofs,
Alex, yeah,
roofs?
roof and Irwin Tower.
I'm sure they've been swamped like
Well, I know.
all of them, but it's nice to get something squared up, settled up, so at least you know where you're going and
4 months.
what to expect. It's
Yeah.
tough to ask a contractor to
Neil, you do
quote
too?
when
Same thing.
Same.
Alex had-
you don't know what the insurance company's even offering, so.
You did get a bunch from vehicles.
We did.
Yes.
The vehicle adjuster was there, and that did come through. I haven't seen
Okay.
any check on that other than the initial statements, so.
Right.
It sounded like that would come
Okay.
fairly quickly.
I'll check on that.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Other than that, that's all I've got, if you don't have anything else.
Again, good
All right.
job.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Chris.
You bet. Thanks, guys.
Okay, next on the agenda, approval of the August 6th minutes. Any changes or corrections, Mark?
No.
Does have any questions? If not, got a motion to approve as presented.
Motion?
Second. Motion by Bryce, second by Charlie. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Chance to look over last month's claims.
Yep, no questions.
Anything, any changes to that, Mark, you know of?
No, well, there was one check written for prorated rent at the annex, and I ordered Angel to get rid of that check, and we'll recalculate that
Right,
depending on
till
what
we
the-
get settled here.
Yes,
Okay,
so that one will be just scratched off the list.
okay. Okay, with that change, do I have a motion to approve the claims as presented?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Charlie, second by Bryce. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Department head reports, Kyle Lindbergh in the jail. Morning, Kyle.
Morning.
Morning.
How are you? Today.
Good?
Didn't recognize you out there without your uniform on.
Well, been doing some overnights and I'm trying to adjust what day it is, what time it is, and so. Jail. As exciting as I always say it is, I'm trying to think when was the last time we did the update. It was probably 3 months ago, maybe 4 months ago, referenced that. So I always like to start off with a little bit of current stats. I will say, knock on wood, it's maybe been kind of a blessing on some things. Our numbers are just down a little bit, obviously, from previous year, which is an okay thing. It's not, I don't think, anything from anything changing wise as far as crime might be still happening or anything. It's just the caveat that comes with that, though, is the ones that we do have are problem children, we'll put it that way. We have quite a bit of uptick, and when you take mental health and substance abuse and mix the two together, it creates a... We've had more use of force in the jail here probably in the last 4 months than we have in the entire last year as far as non-compliance and people. we're thankful that, I mean, the staff is good. We give them the best training that we can as far as, how to deal and de-escalate in situations, but we've had a lot of times where deputies have had to come in full force to prevent further things happening. So just, I mean, it's
harder when they get off their meds.
and that too, and then we get them dialed back in, and then they go out, and then they come back in, and it's starting all over again. So, just a kudos to my staff, and thanks to Sheriff Gross and his deputies for always being willing to step in and help us out, and and being there when we need it. So, because I mean,
You guys work good together.
we do that we do. So, another knock on wood, staffing updates. We recently had she sent you guys an email. We did promotions to promoting a jail sergeant to kind of help with some of the on-call flow things. We had 2 applicants put in for that. Amanda Earlmeyer was promoted to jail sergeant effective August 2nd. Amanda's been with us for 4 years. To put this in perspective, to show kind of how young we are now in reference to that, my next senior employee just crossed over 2 years of experience. Otherwise, we go 3 months or 4 months or less. So we are currently hiring for 2 full-time positions and possibly 1 part-time to fill. We just had a round with the new starting pay wage for the overnight scale to hopefully attract some applicants. Overall, we had 18 applicants come in.
Oh, wow.
11 of them did not meet initial screening. We interviewed 6. We have 3 good candidates that I just wrapped up yesterday with. As far as MMPI testing, which is a prerequisite for your psychological exam prior to entering the law enforcement perspective. So hopefully get those results back here this week from the state clinic or psychologist, and hopefully get some job offers out, and then fully staffed. That's the goal plan. So hopefully we can keep that going, because I mean, I say it once, I said it before, kudos to the staff that we have now, because there's been a lot of OT, a lot of pickup, a lot of coverage, because it's been short days. So normally we would have the 2 on, where we'd be running one on one, and it takes its toll. So, with kind of jumping into that a little bit here, maybe look at using some opioid funding with a more uptick in use of force and people coming off the streets that are obviously in the altered state of mind. Some new security devices. There's a device called the WRAP that Cass County has just recently went with a purchase.
Say that again, wrap?
It's called the WRAP, like the and then WRAP. Basically what it is it's a device that we can quickly put a person who's in handcuffs in a restraint that will basically wrap them in a leg restraint and tear them to where we don't have to fight them and kick them. They can be replaced or moved out of a squad car. Basically, it can go on from on scene to into the jail. We pick up, we can transport. Whereas the ERC chair is a great thing too, but it's kind of big and bulky to try to get and move around. So more and more agencies are starting to use these. It's approved. Captain Butler and myself are scheduled to go down here sometime the upcoming month to see some demos. We weren't able to attend the live training that they held in Cass County last time due to some staff shortages and some scheduling conflicts. But it's sad that we look like we have to go that way, but unfortunately that's the way things are turning in the jail setting. So
You have to protect your staff too.
correct, very much so. And working with Sheriff Gross here, like I said, over the last couple of years, we've been really implementing one and pushed for a peer support program, peer support team to get implemented within the Sheriff's Office, jail, and EMA dispatch. Myself and then newly promoted jail sergeant Amanda Earlmeyer are going to attend. It's an entry-level peer support 24-hour certification over the next 3 days down at Council Bluffs. If you're not familiar with peer support is those who work in this line of field who can struggle with things, or they say the average first responder or person who works in a law enforcement type perspective will see more traumatic events and deal with more high stress events in a year's time than the average person will in their entire lifetime. So the peer support, and not to knock anything with the employee insurance or the EAP programs, but it's just tough for a lot of people to want to say they want to use a local resource when you work in that county as a local. So
That's a good idea.
bringing the peer support into us, it's reach out to Suzanne Watson or the region, Suzanne, but a while back, and it's completely funded training through the region. So I mean, they pay for our seats to be there and to learn to bring that certification back and to develop and initiate and get something going, then where we can train the trainer and have people within our agency that are trained to help get those people help and stuff that they need if they're willing to. So thank you for Sheriff Gross for allowing us to do that, because that's something that's very much been needed. Obviously, remember back in 2020 we went through couple of tragedies within our office that kind of shook our small department, and I think it's just a good thing to be able to develop it and have that resource available for our employees.
Going back to opioid funding.
Yeah.
Are you able to do what you want to do within the restrictions we have? Because we do have some commitments set up already, and we also last time allocated so much for you and Neil to work with.
Correct. So the question was, and I guess, and that's probably my fault for not reaching out to Mark on that before. So there was leftover fundage from that. Was that a use or lose it by a certain date, or did that come?
No.
Okay, because I still have.
No, it carries over.
Correct. Okay.
It's
And I
supposed
would,
to carry
You
over.
budget a certain amount, and I think my assumption was that's where you'd be, and if you need more than that,
We'd come to the
I
board.
believe it's there.
Yeah.
okay.
There's plenty, the
Yep.
account's pretty
Yeah, we
healthy.
didn't spend it all, I
The
think.
fund is
Correct.
pretty
If
healthy.
you remember, and I'm just going by my memory too, I think we left about 25% for
Yeah,
reserves.
it's-
Correct.
But it's not a big number anyway.
Yeah, and you know, even looking at the wrap, the device itself is looking like a $45 to right around $5,000 device.
okay.
So I mean, it's not like it's a
Okay.
huge expense
Yeah,
type thing. But so,
okay.
and I think last time I had almost 4,900 roughly. I think that we hadn't spent on my jail
Yeah,
side. The sheriff's
okay.
had to use theirs up on a couple of things, but
No, it's already used.
yeah. Other than that, well, good news. We also, I don't know if I shared this before, but back in April and May, we are still one of the 22 counties in the state of Iowa that roll old school ink as far as fingerprints for everybody that comes in. Working with NOLS, Link, the Department of Public Safety, and the Fingerprint Division, we are fortunate enough that we were able to secure Shelby County for a grant to go live with the live scan automated machine. In one of the 5 counties, because they said they have kind of neglected the western side of the state on some of those. Harrison County went live with it last year. I went over and looked at it. Basically, it's an automated machine, so no more rolling ink. So I mean, we just got to find placement to put it in our booking room, but. You know, to a tune, it's almost a $35,000 machine with a
Wow.
yearly $14,000, well, $12,000 maintenance cost, but that's going to be covered all through this with the state that allows, so there will be no cost to Shelby County to get that.
So you got that for sure, or you applied for it?
We got it for sure. We are
Oh,
one of the
congratulations.
5 counties. Yes, correct. So we will go live with that. They will come and implement in March of '25. And that's when that cycle starts over next year, and we are set up and slated for March of '25. So.
Okay.
Yes, so that's a good thing. So we're making good technological advances. I mean, the technology's there. Let's utilize it, because no more mailing or
Right.
fingerprints and having smudges. And sometimes people aren't always cooperative when you're taking your fingerprints. Whereas this machine will basically accept it right there on the digital screen and hit a pedal and electronically submit. So yes, that's about all I have. So I guess, in that short queue, any questions for the jail? We keep on going. So
You're doing a good job trying to stay ahead of
Yeah,
things.
keep up the good work.
Keep the staff. That's been a big struggle.
yeah, no, and it's not just Shelby County alone.
No.
The correctional aspect. It's tough to get somebody to want to come in and work overnight hours and stay and work overnight hours,
Yeah.
and it's a very reactive job.
You
can-
included, right?
You can come in and have a good shift, or you can come in and have 12 hours of pure hell. I shouldn't say that, but it can be. That's the truth of it. So
Depends on what you get in.
what's that?
I said it depends on what you get in.
Well, that's true. But this day and age, unfortunately, we can't select the pleas and
Yep.
yes sir, no sir type people. It's like I tell people in the interview, you understand. Crime doesn't stop Friday at 5 and resume, at 8. We're 24 hours. Things can happen on a Tuesday and nothing can happen on a Friday. You just never know. So.
Well, appreciate the update, Kyle.
Thanks. Take care. You bet.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Next on the agenda, IT department report, and then we also have policy update approval. Mr. Austin Staley, IT director. Morning.
All right, we'll do 2 things at once here. We'll get the department report here, and then we'll go
Okay.
to the policy afterward. So a few things that this will probably be the last time I report on this, but the ICIT list of things that they had for us for that audit, that is basically 90% done. There's one item on there that's a very long-term thing, which is a replacement for network switches, which I don't see happening in the near future anyway. So, but otherwise, I've greened out everything else they've had for short, mid, and long term within 15 months here. So
Took
Been trying
away
to
my
work.
question. That was one of my questions, where we're at with the 5-year audit
Okay,
plan.
good.
Awesome, 90%, good job.
Yeah, a lot of that stuff was very easy to do in-house and by myself, but I couldn't do a lot of it alone. There's a few things that I use vendors for, like the email migration, so there's people that have done this, they do this every single day, every week, and we had a really good vendor for that migration. And as far as on my side, everything went well. There's a few hiccups on the end user side, but that was expected. When you switch emails like that, there's a lot of loose ends that you have to tie up from transferring from old to new, but everything that happened was basically expected. So
Okay.
the CrowdStrike incident from just a week prior from that was mitigated almost before everyone got to work, so I kind of showed up early and made sure that everybody was ready to go before work. I got maybe 90% of the people. So I tried to mitigate as much as I can that day, but otherwise everything since then has been great. I know we've been talking through the state with the CrowdStrike issues, and we're talking with CrowdStrike directly to try to make sure this doesn't happen again and make sure that we're on track still, because we do have that contract with the state that we opted into from the OCIO, or now the Department of Management Division of IT. Yeah, other than that, I mean, we've kind of knocked it out of the ballpark the last year on getting all these things done. We're up to date on servers. We're updating computers constantly. Let's see what else here. But yeah, I mean, as far as IT wise, we're in good shape. A much better shape than we were 15 months ago. So
Thanks to you, we appreciate what you're doing. You've been a godsend.
and then the IT policy. This is something that I've been trying to finish for the past 15 months, but kind of do it in the spare time that I have on top of the other stuff that I'm doing. And I just kind of go through a passage every couple of weeks or so and try to edit it and make sure that everything's in there that needs to be. I've collaborated with other counties and try to make sure that everything's in here that they have, and kind of add things that are niche to us. So anything that's in yellow right here has been added. I don't know how many of you look
Yep.
through the policy.
Very detailed.
Yes.
And I've crossed out again everything that has needs to go out, because again, this hasn't been updated since 2004 from what I hear. There was a revision in 2014, but nothing old was taken out, from what I understand anyway, judging by the documentation here. So the stuff that was added in 2014 was just all HIPAA stuff that was required by insurance, I'm sure. But other than that, there was so many old things in here that were not very satisfactory, and a lot of the stuff we weren't even doing. There was a requirement to have a department head sign off on a piece of paper saying that you can have internet access, for one. I mean, none of us have that, so I know
20 years, that's a long time. in
yeah,
technology.
exactly.
20
So
months is a long time.
Yeah, I know we were out of standards with policy even in that manner, so I've updated it to make sure that we're up to today's standards, and I'm going to try to get a revision every year, maybe every 2 years or something, to try to take out and add more stuff. But
Okay.
there's a lot in here, so if there's any other county members here, department heads, I would very, very much advise you to look through it and make sure that everything is in there, or everything in there. That way your employees know, and you know what you can and can't do and what the procedures are going forward. I've kind of instilled it so far in the 15 months that I've been here, and tried to counsel people on how to use devices and stuff like that. But now it's on paper, and you can kind of refer to this, even if you think I'm lying. You just go to the paper, and it'll tell you right there. So, but yeah, if you guys are satisfactory with that, you guys can, if you want to look through it, I can give you guys a policy.
I've already looked through it.
Yeah.
Yep. You guys have any questions for Austin on the policy?
No, good
Okay.
job on that. Yeah.
Thank you.
If not, do I have a motion to approve the IT policy versus his recommendation as presented?
Motion.
I'll second.
Motion by Charlie, second by Bryce. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Anything else?
And with that, we will have to have every county employee sign this once again.
Yes.
I've already been through that
Sure.
many times before. So,
Yep.
but yeah, I'll get this up to Melissa as well. That way
Do
she
you have a
can.
date on when it, do you want it?
Effective immediately, but signed within the next couple of weeks or so. I'm not
Okay.
gonna force you guys to do it. But
No, and
just
I don't
know
want you
it's-
chasing
just know
people
it's
down,
here.
but they're,
Yeah.
if
And
people are
I'll
on
send it out to
vacation for a
everybody.
week or
I'll send it
something.
out to everybody too. I'll send the PDF. That way, if you want to, you just sign it
Okay.
and then send it back. So
Okay.
we'll make it easy for everyone to
Okay.
sign.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Does Austin need to stay for the
I
laptop?
was just gonna ask him to.
Okay, okay, are you done then?
Yep, I'm done.
I appreciate you.
Absolutely.
And getting the audit caught up as much as you
Absolutely.
have. So,
It's been fun. Honestly, it's been fun.
okay.
Well, you're doing a good
You're the right
job.
person for the job.
Thank
Exactly.
you. Thank you.
Yeah.
We'll move on. The next thing on the item is election laptop purchases, so I'll turn it over to Mark and
I
Austin.
believe we replaced the laptops in 17 or 18, so they're 6 years old, and you know, for computers, laptops, that's a
It's a
ripe
long
old
time.
age.
That's a long time for computers, especially since technology's changed now. Hard drives have now turned into solid state drives, and if you're in the technology world, you know the hard drives, once they sit for a while, they get worse and worse. Especially if you don't use them. It's a magnetic part of it that just kind of degrades over time, and it gets worse as you kind of just let them sit. And you know, as we know, with elections, we only use them a couple times a year. So, but
There's
the
a
new
lot of
ones-
sitting.
Yes,
And not
exactly.
every year.
Exactly.
And redundancy was huge, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but reliability was questioned with computers back then. And so we purchased 27 of them. That'd be 3 for each precinct. Now we're purchasing 21, and we'll still have some backups. Just with the confidence, and we know how many we didn't use the last time. I think there's only 2 or 3 that quit working on us out of the 27, so.
Is there any use for the old ones?
Not to me, no. So I would recommend they go up for public auction after we wipe the hard drives, unless anybody else in the county has a need for them. But
Yeah, are you familiar with the rules on what has to be done with those? I believe they have to destroy the hard drive.
yeah, basically. Yeah.
Okay,
But not the laptop itself.
Correct. Yeah. So they'll just be
Okay.
laptops without hard drives.
okay, thank you.
Okay.
Yep.
Yep.
And the election department only had 15,000 budgeted, but we do have some in reserves.
How much is it gonna take? You think?
6,000.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's a little over 21,000 for, oh, and there's new printers involved with this too.
Oh, okay.
And those printers were inherited, they're over 8 years old. So, yeah, so we're replacing the printers with upgraded stuff too. So there's laptops and a printer for each one.
Okay.
And we
So,
do,
so between the budget and what you have in reserves, you'll be able to cover that?
yes.
Okay.
That is
So,
correct.
do you, like, who supplies them? Is there just one supplier? Is it state?
It's IPAC, it's a consortium,
Okay.
an election consortium of several counties in Iowa. Most
Okay.
counties belong to it. And Austin looked at what he wanted,
Okay.
and IPAC had PCs for sale, and they always sell them. That's where we got them the last time.
Okay.
And
Okay. I just want to
we're
make
getting them
sure.
from the horse's mouth.
Okay.
And it's exactly what Austin wanted
Yeah, I was gonna
anyway,
use
or what
that
he was
with
gonna recommend.
Yep.
Okay.
It's basically what I gave Bryce. So
Where everything should be coming through, I just want to make sure that's
yeah,
happening.
absolutely.
Are you going to ISAC this week?
I will not be there this week.
Okay. But Tammy Norman's an excellent source of information. I don't know if you've ever met her or had any.
I've never met her, but I've gotten a lot of correspondence with
There you
the
go.
base camp
Okay.
staff. So
Yeah.
Okay. So, would you like us to approve a purchase today?
Please.
Okay.
Yep.
You guys have any other
The check's
questions
made
about
out.
that? And what's the total, Mark?
It's a little over 21,000. I do not have that with me. I do not believe.
Okay. 21,000 and change?
Yes.
Okay. Do I have a motion for the election laptop purchases?
Motion?
Second?
Motion by Bryce, second by Charlie. Any other questions? If not, everyone, excuse me. If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
Yep. Thank you.
Yep. Okay. Anything else?
that's all I have.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Austin.
Supervisors report. Anybody have anything?
One of my committees is landfill. We had that question answered.
Okay.
Conservation side, I guess camping is down this year for some reason. It's down everywhere, the way it sounds. So,
Probably from all the
Yeah.
all the storm events.
Right.
Who wants to be out there?
So-
If one's coming.
Yeah, if your county parks are out there, get out and use them, because they're really beautiful.
Okay.
Other than that, everything else is clicking along pretty good, so.
Okay.
I don't have any, I got 2 more meetings after this today.
Okay, well, I usually give a pipeline update, but we're gonna be discussing that down further, so I'll wait till then. Todd Deline, Shelby County Chamber Report. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
How's Todd?
Todd's doing well.
Morning.
Good.
Hi, Todd.
Since our last meeting, we had the National Night Out event here in Harlan. Want to thank all of the sponsors and all of the emergency management groups that came to be there. It was a great night. We probably had close to 400 people out there, and we had ordered 300 hot dogs. We ran out of those in about 20 minutes. So, like I said, it was great. Looking forward to doing it again next year, to kind of expanding on it a little bit. But especially with some of the changes that have taken place with our ambulance service and our sheriff's deputies and things like that, it was good for people to come out and, meet everybody. So that was good. Then last Thursday, so we have a commercial compost facility that was to come to Shelby County. And we had gone before the adjustment committee once before. There was some pushback from the public. So they just kind of tabled the permit request. Last Thursday, at the location where this would be, we had a demonstration of his compost. He brought in all the raw materials that he'll be using and did a windrow of compost. We had an expert from Iowa State there in composting who was explaining what he's doing and how it's working. Few of the things that I didn't even know that he brought up during the demonstration were, I knew that a lot of composting material goes to our landfill. According to DNR, 30% of our landfill is full of stuff that could be composted instead of being in our landfill. Yeah. So, so the savings there, along with being able to support our local school districts, grocery stores and things like that with those savings. And then he told the crowd that even like if A&E has a tanker full of milk that gets rejected because it's just gone bad, he can use that and he can compost that. So there's a lot of different things that we could do that will save money within Shelby County. He has multiple clients already that are farmers here in Shelby County, so one of the things that would be very beneficial to them is that they don't have to truck it in anymore if it's in the county. So overall, the demonstration went very well. So I'm just hoping now that he'll reapply for a zoning permit here, and then we'll see what
Was there any neighbors or concerned citizens part of that?
what we did is we invited everybody who lived within a 2-mile radius of where it would be to attend. And we had a pretty good crowd. We had about 30 to 40 people out there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we had a good crowd. And actually I had a couple of people approach me after that demonstration and asked me what I could do to change how we collect garbage in Shelby County, to make sure that composting material ended up out there. And I said, well, that's a little bit above my pay grade, but but it's a good thought. Maybe we should start considering some of these types of things. I'm sure there's a grant out there somewhere that would help us out with it. So, but hopefully he'll apply. We do have an ambassador visit coming up on Friday. It's going to be from 4 to 6. It's going to be at the agency insurance because they're going to be celebrating their 50th anniversary of being in business here in Shelby County. So that'll be a lot of fun.
What time is that again?
It's going to be from 4 to 6 on Friday. Then on Monday, the 26th, we have a blood drive coming up, and that's going to be from 8 to 2 at Merton Medical. You can give Ruth a call at 755-4316 to schedule an appointment. And we keep repeating it a lot, and we'll continue to repeat it. We definitely need more blood donations. I mean, just nationwide, blood donations are down. We really need those. And then finally, on Thursday, September 12th, so this will be the second month that we're doing this, we'll be having an after-hours networking event at 5 o'clock at Milk and Honey for the Chamber. Now, this is something we're going to make a monthly event. It's going to be the second Thursday of the month. And it's open to any business that wants to come. You don't have to be a chamber member to come to this business networking event. We just want people to start, you know, I still feel there's a lot of things in the county where people don't understand. Your neighbor provides that service, you just don't realize they provide that service.
Yeah.
So, want to get this open, get people to come in and start talking to you. Other than that, that's about it from the chamber for today.
My
Okay.
grandkids were at the National Night Out and the movie in the park, and they raved about both. So
Yeah. The
Good
movie-
job to those people.
The movie in the park went really well, and I was happy to see that Elkhorn did a movie in the park too, and you know, that went well for them too, so. Yeah, those are just fun events that
Yeah.
are, you know.
They enjoyed it.
Yeah. Good, good.
Okay.
Thanks,
Right.
Todd.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is Title VI assurance document. Mark, for signature.
More bureaucracy, shall we say. The Title VI coordinator, which is me.
That we talked
You guys
about.
appointed me. There's one more document that
The
they
meeting
wanted me to
before.
sign, or wanted the board to sign and
Okay.
to approve you to sign it, that I wasn't aware of until I started submitting the paperwork, and they said,
Right.
no, there's one more.
Yeah, we
So-
approved the meeting before of
Yeah.
Mark being that person, so. Okay.
And I just need the approval for the chairperson to sign that.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Charlie, second by Bryce. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. I'll take care of that after the meeting here. Next on the agenda, Rosa Blanda Farm alcohol permit renewal. This will be the second year, correct?
That is correct, and never heard an issue.
I haven't either. Any of you guys?
No.
Yeah, no,
Okay. Any changes to it?
No.
Been pretty standard.
it's the same.
Okay.
Motion approved.
Does anybody in the public have anything to say? Okay. We have a motion to approve Rosa Blanda alcohol permit.
Second.
Okay. Motion by Charlie, second by Bryce. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next on the agenda is Resolution 2024-30, waiver for the LS Farms for their matrix. We
Correct.
passed that at the last meeting, but because of some technicality with DNR, that they,
There's a new person
okay,
that accepts these applications.
right. So
That's what's
we
happening.
couldn't approve it prior to, and so we had to wait till after they submitted the paperwork. That's fine. And so we're bringing that back to the table today. Nothing else has changed.
Nothing.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Bryce, second by Charlie to approve the waiver for LNS Farms for their matrix. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Before we go into closed session here, is there any comments from the public out there, anything?
Are we talking about the pipeline thing later on then, or what?
We'll probably talk just a little bit here before we go into closed session. Okay? Okay. Before we go into closed session, Tim, come on up. Tim Whipple's here. He's our attorney. He's covered all our pipeline and ordinances and everything. Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Morning.
Tim. Do you have anything
For open session?
for open session?
I don't have anything for open,
Okay.
unless you want me to answer any questions.
Yeah, well, if somebody's here has a question, go ahead, Lee. Do you have any
I-
questions about it?
Yeah,
Okay,
just
we're going to be
just
going.
frustration, that's all I got.
Yeah, we're going to be going into closed session with Tim Whipple, our attorney at Allers, regarding the Iowa Utility Commission just last week submitted their denial for the county's request, not just our county, but 7 counties involved. And we're going to be discussing where we go from there and get an update from Tim. That's what the closed session is going to be about. And possible action after our closed session, correct?
It involves possible litigation over the board's permit issuance.
Okay, this is not about our lawsuit, this is just about the IUC, it's called now, not IUB, denial ruling and possible appeal.
Well, there are some overlapping issues, and so, I mean,
Yeah, that's why we're involved.
but the primary consideration for you all when you come out of closed session is guidance from me on what you want to do next
Okay.
in regard to the state permit, not the federal litigation.
Okay, correct. Okay, anybody else have any questions? Okay, we're gonna take about a few minute recess, because we're gonna have to move everybody out of the room. Marcus, you'll be staying, correct? and we'll close the doors, and then when we come back in the open session, we'll do that. We're gonna be open session here until, we're in recess right now, and then we'll come back and we're gonna vote, roll call to go into closed session, okay? So anybody can leave then. Thank you. Okay, we voted at 10:42 to come out of closed session. And right now, I'm asking for a motion to direct Allers and Cooney to seek judicial review of the Iowa Utility Commission June 25th, 24 final decision and order in the Summit Pipeline docket. Do I have a motion to proceed with Allers and Cooney?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Charlie, second by Bryce. Any other comments or questions from anybody? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay. Meeting adjourned. Okay, thanks everybody.